Hi, I'm Linda Blackaby, Senior Program Consultant of the Justice Matters section of Filmfest DC. I would like to begin by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land where I am on the West Coast, the Ohlone and the Ramaytush people, and pay my respects to elders both past and present. It's my great pleasure to welcome Cheryl J. Crim, producer, director, and cinematographer of RESISTERHOOD, and two of the six participants in her film. RESISTERHOOD, we were going to have the world premiere of RESISTERHOOD at Filmfest DC in April, and that didn't happen. Since then, it's been having a really successful launch at a number of maybe 16, I don't know, other festivals around the country. So congratulations. We're happy to be showing it now, virtually. And just brief introductions for these remarkable people. For over 3 decades, Cheryl Jacobs Crim has produced, directed, and directed and edited numerous television specials and documentaries, and she's won so many awards it would take the rest of this time to talk about them all. And they're national, international, but important, this is her first independent feature. And we're also really pleased that 2 of the good and remarkable women from the film are with us. Mimi Hassanein is, wave Mia, well, we can see her name, I guess key here is that after the 2016 presidential election, Mimi became a victim of hate speech because she wears, obviously, a hijab. So very bravely, she took her baklava and decided to run for public office with support from this vast family and 15 grandchildren. Joanna Lohman is an activist and former professional athlete who's now a role model and motivational speaker and standing up for gender equality and the rights of the LGBTQ plus community. Thank you both for being here. So just to start, I wanted to ask Cheryl, since you had such a successful career, whatever possessed you to venture into the treacherous waters of independent filmmaking?
And yes, well, we should have had this conversation. Oh, you can hear me? Okay. Am I frozen? Yeah. Oh, am I back?
You're good.
Technology. All right. Well, I was going to say, yes, Linda, I should have met you 4 years ago and you could have warned me what was coming. Yeah, I've produced and directed for years, but never done anything completely independently. Usually it was for a television station or a network, and they do all of the promotion and distribution is already there. And so, yes, it's been quite a journey. They always say independent filmmakers, you know, it's a labor of love. There's a reason that you stick with it and you just feel this need to create something. And when it comes to RESISTERHOOD, yes, it really was a labor of love because I met these incredible activists, 2 of which are here with us today, and I love them dearly. So that comes in, but it was also something that I did because I was fueled by my fury. I go back to that because of just how I felt after the 2016 election, and I know I was not alone. And I just felt like I had to do something powerful and use my skill to get the message out there that that this president we had just elected did not stand for the country that I believed in, and I wanted to find some other people. I wanted to follow and show the stories of other people who were saying, we are going to stand up and resist this direction that our country is going in, and we're going to fight for the country that we believe in.
And you do that really well.
Thank you.
Yeah. So Mimi and Joanna, just quickly tell me how you met Cheryl and how she roped you into this project. Maybe Mimi first.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh. Well, it was great meeting Cheryl. She lives in my neighborhood, and I serve on the board for Sandy Spring Museum. And she had sent to the people in the museum because her husband serves on on the board of Sandy Spring Museum too. And she said, do you know of any Muslim woman? I am doing this documentary and I'm looking for Muslim woman. So, you know, the director sent me the email and she said, are you interested? I said, am I interested? Of course I am. So I wrote back to Cheryl. I said, here I am. I wanted to be a part of this documentary. And the rest is history. It was really nice to meet Cheryl and Joanne and get to know the rest of the group. As part of this documentary, it really inspired me because I wanted someone to listen to hear the voice of immigrant and Muslim women and really empowering the woman. All the women out there need to be empowered because they always say, oh, we need to be empowering the woman. I said, no, 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 no. We are already have the power. We just need those men to listen to us because guess what? We give birth to these men who are sitting at the White House. They have a mom and, you know, so when we talk about empowering women, I wanted to tell every woman out there, you already have the power. If you can run your household, you can run the country. You got all
Right.
that. So it's not we can just whip it like that. Okay. So,
Okay.
But I love being a part of this documentary.
Good. Thank you. Joanna?
Yeah, my story is just incredible of how I met CJ. I actually met her really good friend and a woman who was involved in the documentary behind the scenes, Julie Meisner Eagle. And I met her up on a zip line in the trees, probably about 60 feet up in the air. I was doing a zip line course in Silver Spring with my nieces and nephews. And I was next in line to go down the zip line. And there was a woman in front of me who was on her cell phone. And we're waiting for the zip line, so she should not be on her cell phone. And she turned back to me and apologized. And she was in tears because she had just found out that one of her best friends had breast cancer. So here I was, annoyed that I couldn't go down the zip line. And we struck up a conversation. I spent the rest of the afternoon up in the trees with her and her son. And after our ziplining experience, we exchanged Facebook information, and Julie asked if I was going to be marching in the Women's March in 2017. And I said, of course. And so I marched, and she asked if I'd want to be part of this documentary. And that's eventually how I ended up meeting CJ. And it was so serendipitous, and really just, it speaks to how we all are in the film of just like this, you know, flying through the trees, really. So it was just like such a
Yeah, elective affinities, as they call it.
yeah.
But if I can say, it's first of all, Joanna, and it's also a female thing to reach out to somebody who was in need. I mean, Julie, she was in a very, very difficult situation up there on the zip line, just having found out that her friend had breast cancer, and Joanna reached out to her. Otherwise, you know, if Joanna had just zipped on by, then she wouldn't be a part of this. But it's just part of that innate, wonderful nature that Joanna has that brought her to us. So
Thanks,
we were really
CJ.
This is kind of a vague question, but so we'll try and have pointed answers. But Resisterhood ends up being so very upbeat and inspiring, and I think that what moved me a lot is the way that it interweaves the old personal and the political as being, you know, the same. But here you have the photo albums and you have this vibrant marches. Is there anything you want to add kind of personally or politically to what you said in the film about what it felt like then? I mean, you've talked about that a bit, and what it feels like now, and what helped you stay strong? Start with Joanna, maybe.
Yeah, I think my story in the film was very powerful in a sense that I was a very out and proud athlete, where I didn't necessarily have a huge political side. And then you see me tear my ACL, and that just launched me into a different stratosphere. And I think this film helped me to get more into the political side. I had never voted in the midterm elections, as you saw in the film. And then I was voting. So it was it felt like a part of me, because you can no longer really separate the person and the politics now, unfortunately. And I know that so many people want athletes just to shut up and dribble. But that's, you know, those days are gone. And so it was so important for me to continue to be a voice, not just for the LGBTQ community, but to show that athletes are a lot more than who they are in the field. So that's what kept me strong. And just the consistent messages that I get from LGBTQ youth on how being my authentic self has helped them to come out. And I would get those so frequently. So I kept getting reminders of how important the work I was doing. And I really wanted to take it to the next level with this documentary.
Thank you. And Mimi?
Yes. Well, as an immigrant, a lot of us, when we immigrate to America, because we hear America, you can pursue your dreams, you know, it's the land of freedom. And, you know, if you have a dream that you cannot do it back home, this is the opportunity for you. Well, that was true 50 years ago, but I don't think it's true right now, you know, with the way that our political system now is absolutely crazy, and I would not be immigrated to America at this time. But also we come from a different political system. I mean, I'm talking about myself. I never vote. We don't vote. You know, it's always 99% the president win, right? And we don't even know when the election is. You know, I think 4 years. So sometimes we have the president for 30 years. So it's dictatorship. And that's why now I'm feeling so bad about America, because it feels like it's a dictatorship. Again, you have no voice, you have no right, nobody's listening to you. So when I heard about this documentary, first of all, I wanted to learn about the system in America, because you know, when you immigrate here, you know, everything is free. And I tell people, no. There is nothing free in America except buy one, get one free, okay? Because they can locate where you had your last meal last night from your credit card. So don't think you are free here, okay? So I wanted to learn about the civic duty as a citizen, as an American citizen. What is my civic duty? And what I need to do. So there is two words that I was met with. They were so new to me: the word community and the word volunteer. Well, we don't have this back home. When you tell me community, my community is my immediate family. Like people will say, are you a part of your community? And I said, what are you talking about? You know, then I realized your community is your PTA, is your civic organization. So you have to have a seat at the table. You have to have a voice. You know, if you're not happy, let us know. We'll work with you. Oh, God bless America. Are they going to listen to me? You know, so that was new for me. And I'm sure it's for a lot of immigrant community. They're not really aware of how much right they have. All they think is that America, there is a freedom. Yes, you have the freedom of speech, but that's about it. You know, I mean, you know, there is everything that you do, they know what it is, okay? So, and then volunteering. You mean I'm going to work and I'm not going to get paid? No, I want to watch my soap opera, right? I want to watch a movie. So the concept of volunteering, that 7:30 meeting every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we don't have that stuff back home, you know? But here in America, the PTA is essential. You gotta get involved. So for me, it was, I wanted to learn about my new system and my new home and the system. And then when I volunteered, I became, they call us activists, right? You know, volunteering. And then when I tried to get into the political, they said, well, you have a lot of experience as a community activist, but you're not politically savvy, you know. So then I said, oh, what do I need to do? So then they told me what I need to do. And then I joined campaign and I did all that. So I was prepared for the next movement. And then when I ran, you give a 5-minute speech, and there was 12 people against me, and then I won at the last time. So I decided to go and take it and run with it. So it's a great experience. So my point is, go out and vote, learn about your politics, do civic duty. If you want to enjoy free America, have your voices heard and have a seat at the table.
And yes, and Cheryl, this is kind of fits in with that, but I'm really wondering with, you must have had a lot of incredible material and lots of demonstration footage and lots of good talking. So can you talk about your editing process and how you were able to weave so many insights and kind of aha moments, warmth, hope, and into this really rich experience? I mean, it was like, into a short, 90 minutes is not so long.
No, it isn't, and it could be twice as long. It could have been a series. There's so much that we have that isn't in there. And one thing that that I could tell you that you might be interested in, I haven't really talked about this yet, but we actually had a seventh person we were following. I mean, people are like crazy. They're like, "You have 4 people you're following," and I'd be like, "No, actually, I'm following 7." And so, the 7th person was a Jewish woman. And we had followed her. She marched at the Women's March with Mimi in a group called the Sisterhood of Salam Shalom. And it's Jewish and Muslim women coming together. It was a beautiful story. But she's a federal employee. And in 2018, after we had been shooting with her for almost 2 years, all federal employees were sent a letter saying that you cannot use the words resist or resistance with Donald Trump. Your job may be at risk. This letter, it was sued. They rescinded it. It was ridiculous. It was something that, we have the right as Americans to freedom of speech. But it frightened her so much, she withdrew from the documentary. I had long conversations with her saying, just come on and give us that statement in the beginning. We'll disguise you. We'll put you in silhouette. We'll disguise your voice. And she was so frightened that she said, it's not even my job. I'm not frightened about losing my job. I need my job because of the healthcare. She had someone in her family who depended on the healthcare. That's a whole nother documentary there. But that's the system that we're in. As a Jewish woman, she goes, I understand what's happening here. My voice is being silenced. This is how Hitler got started. So she understood what she was giving up. But because her job was connected to her healthcare and she needed it so desperately, she wouldn't even let us use an actor to portray her in a 1-minute statement at the beginning of the film. So that's kind of a story that no one knows, but it shows you how different our country is now under this administration. And so it was really quite a task figuring out what comes in, what stays in. Getting back to your original question, we really had a lot that we had to cut out, and when we finally decided to go with it chronologically, talking about the days, that really helped because it kind of focuses. You have the antagonist, and then you have the protagonist reacting against whatever was just done by the administration. And there's just so much. There's so much we left out. We don't touch on Russia. We don't touch on so many of the things that could be in there. But there's enough in there that shows you just the 1,000 cuts. Every day there's something. You forgot what happened last week, and it's just gotten worse, which is really tragic. But also the reason that we really need to mobilize, and we really need to keep that energy and that hope. And everybody needs to realize that if we all come out and vote, then we're done. Our job is done. Our job isn't done, but our job is moving in the right direction because there are more of us than there are of him. So that's kind of our message at the moment. I don't know that I actually answered your question.
I know, but wait, it's great anyhow. It's a question for Mimi now. As a Muslim woman, how have you experienced the changes since the election?
Well, after 9/11, people used to ask me, aren't you scared wearing your scarf? I said, no, my scarf is a part of me. And, I just, why should I be scared? I'm not scared. I didn't do it. I mean, they call us terrorists and all that stuff. But I educate people about who we are and, who the true Muslim is. And at that time, we have childcare that we just opened, you know, and we were scared that we're going to lose the business because how are the family going to leave their kids with us? But because the family knows us before we open, you know, before 9/11, they know who we are and they were supporting us. They said, we trust you, you're great and all that stuff. So I didn't bother me that much. But when Trump came, this is what happened. This is when the incident happened. I mean, I still insist, why should I be scared? Why, you know, I am who I am. And then I was in the gas station one time and that person said, you know, hey, you terrorists, get out of our country and leave us alone, go back home. And I got scared, you know, because this is happening in an area. Yeah, so you know, it hits you. Now I understood why people were asking me, aren't you scared? And at that time I used to go to Washington, DC, ride the metro and all that stuff. And I got so scared because if I was in my car and this is happening to me, what will happen to me if I am in a public area and stuff like that? So the fear got into me. And I think what Donald Trump has done, he got those people who were buried under the ground, came up above the ground and felt they have a power, you know, the white supremacists and, you know, no more politically correct, you know, I mean, we understand there is racist, that's a part of every system. They have their own racist system, you know, they have a problem, whatever problem, there's no system, government system is really great and is the best, right? It's hard. So, but here, you know, they were politically correct. You know, they were, no, you shouldn't be doing that. No, you should be careful of what you say. But now anybody can say anything. You know, watching the debate yesterday, oh my gosh. I said, no way, I am not in America. This is not America. So I got scared after that. And then I start, you know, being afraid to, you know, say what I want and, you know, be free, you know, and then I start wearing my scarf when I get into the building and the place, you know, because I didn't know who's going to be next to me, who's going to be talking to me, you know, so it was really sad, but it was the fear of what can you expect, you know, like you have trust before, because when you immigrate here, you think, oh, people trust you, and it is true. That was 50 years ago. Don't get me wrong, okay? I love America. I love the system, but that's before Donald Trump. He made us.
I'm gonna, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right, but anyway.
Okay, I want to go. We're getting close to the point where we need to have our answers concise and but Joanna, not to say that's for you because this is an important question. What do you think is so important now for the LGBT community, and why is it important for your voice to be heard? And you mentioned, you know, the youth that you've been talking to, and I'm interested in your hopes for them.
Yeah, yesterday, Linda, I spoke to 685 middle school to high school students about my own personal journey, and the responses that I got from them were overwhelmingly positive. And so many people messaged me, I need help coming out. I don't feel comfortable in my own skin. You know, this is real for them. And in times of COVID, depression and anxiety is through the roof. These kids are not taught to feel comfortable being themselves. They're taught to fit into restrictive boxes. So it's really difficult for them, and they need these positive messages to love themselves. And they're worthwhile, and they're valuable contributors to our planet. And I think that's the most important thing in terms of our youth is sending that positive message. And for the LGBTQ community and in general, we need our voices heard because we're being threatened, right? We're one of the groups being threatened by our administration. And if we're silent, we're giving them even more power. So we must resist, and we must stand up for ourselves.
It's very heartening in the film, Cheryl, to see so many young people at the demonstrations and, you know, with great signs and all of that. You talked a little bit, Joanna, about the responses you're getting from talking. I'm just wondering if anybody has anything you want to say about the responses, even though you haven't been there in person, around the country when the film's been shown. Cheryl?
Yeah, it's so, it feels so good right now that the film is out there and that it's positive. I think people right now are thirsty. They're hungry for an uplifting, inspiring film about everyday Americans who are doing something. And that's the energy we need right now. And so the responses have been overwhelming because there's so much negativity and there's so much hatred, it feels like, in the air, and that's not who we are. And so to be able to see the America we believe in through the film has really touched a chord with people who are watching it. And that's been really gratifying to me. And so I just hope that everybody feels that message of hope and doesn't give up and knows that we have the power. We're going to make our voice heard collectively. If we all work together, we'll raise the tide and we'll lift all of our boats. Equality is not a pie. That's what they keep saying. If because I have a slice doesn't mean you get less. It's what we believe in. I think that's what Americans believe in, and I think November 3rd we're really going to come out and show that that we collectively will turn this country around and get back toward the direction where we were for a while trying to aspire to, of equality and justice for everyone.
Well, that's really well put. Joanna or Mimi, do you want to add anything to that, of specific reactions you've gotten?
I want to say, go out and vote, vote, vote. Your voice is counted. Please, please, please go out and vote. No matter what, go out and vote.
Yeah, I would add that, all the responses that I've gotten is just people have been inspired. People have been inspired that regardless of the platform that you have, big or small, that you can make a difference. And I think this film does such a great job of representing society, that there is a person in the film for everyone. And it's just a beautiful representation of what humanity can be if we do the right thing on November 3rd, right? So again, go out and vote.
The conversations go by so fast, the amount of time that we have. Thank you. We could go, there's so much more to talk about. If anybody wants to say anything more, I'm just interested really quickly what your projects are besides getting people to vote, between now and November 3rd, and then maybe afterwards, so we know where to look for you in the future. We'll go to Mimi.
I definitely will be more available, and I hope that everybody go out on November 3rd and vote, and let's just make a difference. And I will be available to reach out to me and help you and work with everybody, and really help the immigrant community to have their voices heard.
Joanna?
Yeah, I'm working a lot with school systems right now to make them safer and more inclusive, which is really important to me. Also, too, working full-time, helping Cheryl to promote this movie and really get this message out to the world that we can all make a positive difference, and voting matters on November 3rd.
And Cheryl, can you talk about your website too and the voter's guide?
Oh, absolutely, yes. Yeah, so that's really what we're trying to do. We have a voter's guide on the website, and it's resisterhooddoc.com. So Resisterhood with DOC on the end, or just Google Resisterhood and it'll come up. And there's a voter's guide on there that's really aimed toward young voters. We give resources. It's a lot of questions. We answer questions. We give resources. We really want to inspire young people to go out and vote. We're also working with Congressman Gutierrez, who's in the documentary, to reach out to the Latino community. Those two groups, young voters and the Latino community, are what we're focusing on very intensely right now, as well as just getting the word out to everyone. But we really feel that we have an opportunity to move the needle in those specific groups, and that's really exciting. And so that's what I'm working on, just trying to get the word about the film out, let it inspire more people, and let's have a big party on January 20th, 2021.
Oh yeah. Thank you so much, Cheryl, Joanna, Mimi, for being here, and thank the viewers for watching and voting.
Thank you, Linda. It's been
Goodbye.
such a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.